X Claymore Lord X coming to you with another video. As you can see, it says right there on the screen, Fortnite on the screen, but on the game on the title it says 30 my answers for the feminist questions, and this is for the 36 questions feminists have for men, and this is just an easier way for me to do this. And on my phone at the moment, I have all the questions on a website written out, so I'm going to read each of the questions and answer them as quickly and best as I can. So if there's any feminists here that are rational and logical, please continue with the video. Anyone who actually has a brain, please continue on with the video. Anyways, the first question they state is, how does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump? My answer to that is uh, okay, I guess, because personally, Donald Trump is not me. I mean, how does it feel being the same sex as someone that I don't like per se? You know, I don't really have anyone on the top of my head because I don't really look at a person as female or male. I just look at their personality. Yeah, I can see their physical gender, but I don't treat them any different because of their race or their gender or sex, sorry. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really bother me because it doesn't really matter. Second question, why do you hate rom-coms? I don't even know what a rom-com is personally, so I'm gonna have to skip on that one. Third question is, why do you make women sit around and talk about men in movies when you all will usually sit around and talk about boobs for hour? Um, as a guy, me and one of my best friends, actually two best friends, we talk about animes, games, and just stupid shit personally. The only time I really talk about boobs is if something in the topic that I'm already talking about ends up being brought up about said female person in said conversation. So if we're talking about, like, let's say a game character and she has noticeable breasts, I mean, I'm obviously going to point it out as a joke, but I'm not going to continue the rest of the topic just on boobs. I mean, it's when you kill a horse, it's kind of pointless to keep beating it because it's not going to feel it. So once you state the obvious, there's no more point saying about the same topic. I mean, it just gets boring and it gets old. And personally, I don't like being bored about a conversation. So yeah. Fourth question is, why do you automatically assume that you won't like a TV shows or movie that stars a female lead? Uh, that's not always true because personally, some of my favorite films star a female role. Aliens is one of my favorite female lead role movies because it's just epic. She kicks that alien's ass. Like, come on, when she gets in that mech suit, just decks that freaking alien out in outer space, and it's just flying down and just that was epic. And I'll even take it a step further. One of my favorite games and anime star a female role. We have Claire from the anime Claymore, which is my number one favorite, and then you have Samus Aran from the game Metroid, and that's my favorite game of all time. So it's not that I don't like a female road. It's just it's different. You don't really see a female lead in a lot of movies. You see a lot of guys. So yeah, why are you surprised when I'm not? I'm surprised at the joke they tell because I probably have never heard of it. I only get surprised at a joke when I've never heard of it. So, like my best friend, when he was telling me some of the jokes that he told me back in, high school, I laughed my ass off because I'd never heard them before. They were funny as hell. So if a woman would have said something that was funny as hell and I've never heard of it, I would be generally surprised because it's a new joke. Now I got something I can share to another person. Moving on, why do you think we're obsessed with you when we hook up? I'm just going to say this from personal experience. I'm not saying every woman's like this, but the mass majority that I have dated have turned out this way. But I have been used for money, sex, or something else. I have been cheated on multiple times and I've been lied to multiple times. I guess I got a bad draw with women, but I've never once thought they were obsessed with me. Like when I think of obsessed, I think of someone like Like Yuno Gasai from the Future Diary. If you don't know who she is, go look her up. That's what I think obsessed is. When you're compulsive to do anything for said person. That's what I think of obsession. Like when you're obsessed with something, you don't do nothing but that. Moving on to number 7. Why can't I sleep with as many people as I want without being judged? And when men do it, they're congratulated. Uh, I would say the obvious answer to that, but me personally, I really don't care if you sleep with every guy on the planet. But me personally, I would not want to sleep with you because there's been so many things stuck in there that I don't feel like it's safe to put mine in there because you might have an STD, HIV, you might have crabs, you might have genital herpes, you might have something in there if you sleep with multiple guys. If you want to do that, that's your choice. I really don't care. But if you try to do it with me and I know that you slept with almost every guy in the city, I'm gonna tell you no. And with the men are congratulated with same. Well, personally I'm not gay, so I wouldn't even want to do that anyways. But if you're sleeping with multiple women, that guy might be at a higher risk of catching some type of sexual transmitted disease or some disease down there than I would. Okay, why do you consider a woman a tease if she doesn't sleep with you after 3 dates, but a slut if she sleeps on you the first date? Um, I can answer both those questions with the same answer. Sex should not be the first thing on your mind within the first couple months and or years. If you are in a relationship for sex, you're looking nothing more than a fuck buddy. You're not looking for a relationship. You're looking for either a one night stand, a friends with benefit, or some other third thing. You're not in it for the relationship. You're not in it for the commitment. You're in there just for a quick pleasure, and then you're going to dip at some point. So I don't consider you a tease after the third date. I don't consider you a slut if you try to sleep with me on the first date. However, I will tell you no in both instances. Um, Next question. In what world does no mean yes? Obviously, whoever asked this question's world. Because last time I checked, no means no. And yes means yes. Unless it's opposite day. The only time that you can say no means yes is opposite day. Yeah. Next question. Why do you say women are too emotional to be leaders, then justify catcalling by saying that men can't control themselves? Uh, that question's hurting my brain. Why do you say Why do you say women are too emotional to be leaders, then justify catcalling by saying that? Oh, I get it. Um, I'm gonna answer this the best I can, but don't get me too much. Biologically and psychologically, women are more in tune with their emotional side than men because of um, how they were brought up as children. So, most leaders are people of logic and reason. If you let your emotions interfere with your logic and or reason or both, you're unfit to be a leader. And I don't justify catcalling because if you're going to be rude, you're rude regardless if you're a male or female, and being rude is not a good thing. Why do you think just because you're nice to me, I owe you my body? Um, I don't. I can I'll just say this. I can die a virgin and be happy with the person I'm with because sex is not an obligation. You don't have to have children. You choose to have children, but you don't have to. Now, it'll be nice to get some, not gonna lie, but I don't expect you to give me your body just for me being nice. It should be required for me to be nice if I'm your guy, if I'm your man. If I'm dating you, it's my job to treat you well because if I don't, someone else will. Next question. Why would you ever send an unsolicited dick pic? I wouldn't. Because one, I don't know who's in your household. So if I do send said pic, you could have a little brother and end up seeing it. Now he's saying stuff about the picture that can get you into trouble. I don't send stuff unless I have to. And I only have to whenever my girlfriend at the time would ask me for one. And if she was to ask for one, with me, you must send a picture like that back. Fair, it's only fair. Equivalent exchange. If you're going to give to me, you got to give something in return. Or if I got to give you something, you got to give me something. That's just my belief on that. Moving on. Why do you think it's okay to harass women or make offensive comments about women, but when someone does it to your sister, it's not okay? Um, it's not okay either way because regardless if it's some stranger or my sister, the fact that you're saying something offensive or harassing to a woman or making an offensive comment is just wrong either way. I mean, you shouldn't do it, period. So yeah, that's that. How does it feel to interrupt me when I'm making a point during a meeting? Most of the time when someone interrupts another person, it's because the person interrupting sees either a flaw in whatever you're saying or a problem that could be fixed if, say, they interrupt it then compared to letting it go through and then the problem occur in action. Because I would rather stop you in your planning of doing whatever you're thinking about doing before or instead of letting you do it and then a bigger problem happens because now there's that flaw and now I got to fix it when I could have fixed it earlier. That's just what I think it when people interrupt. Like if I interrupt you is because there's something wrong with your statement. Um so yeah. I mean a good example is like everyone, we should, take out 3 of those support beams of the building because we don't need them. I'm going to interrupt you right there. I'm like, hold up, we need these support beams to keep the building up. If not, we're going to get crushed. See what I'm saying? I would interrupt you like that. But if you're making solid statements backed up with facts and it makes sense logically and reasonably wise, I'm just going to keep listening to you. It's like, okay, she's thinking in this way. I mean, hey, I might learn something from this chick. Okay, why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open? Because we need rooms for our testicles. I don't like having my junk squeezed together because if you don't know, a flick, a simple pew to the balls can cause a decent amount of pain. So if if you have your legs together and you actually move a certain way and you sit right on your balls, that's gonna fucking hurt. So we sit kind of wide leg to make room. Why are women perceived as the weaker sex even though we literally gave birth to you? Like this one YouTuber that I watched say all this stuff because your body is meant to do that. Your body is meant to give birth. However, it has been biologically proven that the male species is particularly dominant over the female species of any species. Which one do you think, when you go out into the wild, you look at a male lion and you look at a female lion, which one does most of the hunting? Yeah, it's usually the male lion. Why? Because one, they're much stronger, they can take down bigger prey and provide more food for the family. The women or the female lion tends to go for smaller animals while the men are going for the bigger animals. They're working together, but yet the sizes of the prey that they're going for are 2 different sizes. One is bigger and harder to take down, one is smaller and faster, so they need to be smaller and faster too. And same thing with men. Men are usually bulkier, more muscle, have more physical muscle mass than women because we are meant to do more jobs difficult for a woman. So if you go back to any 1950s movies, you see the men usually doing the fixing of the house, doing the cutting the grass, doing the long 10-hour shifts. Why? Because his body is meant to do those. While the women stay home, nurture the kids, and give birth to the kids and do tasks like washing dishes, laundry, cooking, and anything small because their body ain't really fit for doing these hard labor jobs. And even in today's time, you see a lot of that. You see, yeah, you have a mix of both genders in a lot of constructions and welding and mechanicals and all these type of things, but it's a very minimum amount of women in each said job. When you go to construction, you see a lot of males, and believe it or not, a lot of Mexicans. I'm not gonna lie, they are pretty damn good workers. I'm gonna give them that. Why is it so bad to show your emotions? Um, what? I don't get where you get that logic. Yeah, I understand the point where men were raised up to always hide their emotions, but what? I mean, last time I checked, I have all my emotions and they're fully intact and I use them whenever needed. But me, I plan things out and I keep myself from getting into situations that would provoke emotions that I particularly don't enjoy. Like crying, I don't personally like that because one, it makes me look freaking ugly as hell. I don't have a cute cry. I have a freaking disgusting one personally, and it makes me tired and it gives me a headache. I don't like crying because it makes me physically in pain. And anger, I don't like showing my anger because it causes me to do things that I normally wouldn't do, like get into fights, destroy property, get a few charges here and there. So yeah, that's why. What 18 is, why are you always trying to prove your masculinity to me? Last time I checked, a lot of women tend to like bad boys, and bad boys tend to do things that women wouldn't do, like, driving a motorcycle, getting freaking ripped like huge, and doing all these manly man type things. So, what? Why the F isn't it ladylike to curse? Um, I don't care if you curse or not. As long as you're not cussing at me, I don't really care. You can cuss every other sentence in whatever you're talking about, as long as you're not cussing at me, like physically or verbally attacking me with using cuss words. That's not a problem. But if you try to cuss at me and make me belittle me, then we have a problem. When did words get genders? Have you ever taken a Spanish class? Why is your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped? Of course, we would go into this topic because why not? Well, last time I checked, one out of every 10 rape, yeah, one out of every 10 rape accusations turn to be true, which means 9 women will make false accusations against men for rape that they didn't commit. So if a mass majority of women are crying wolf, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna not believe the person because of the lies. I mean, like they say, don't trust a liar. I mean, it's like the story, like the boy who cried wolf. After so